Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. This is the daily chart. We covered it in the last few days quite extensively, so just really want to talk briefly about it. Important aspects here on the daily chart, the $50,700 support level. If there is another low in this structure, so this wave 4 here, circle 4, might still get another low as we discussed on the smaller time frames. If that's happening, it has space all the way down to 50,600, 50,700 in this scenario. It would be acceptable to break it briefly as long as the recovery afterwards is a sustained recovery. So all I can say, if we get one more low, it's likely that we test that level at least. In addition, I'm watching the descending trend line. It's not broken yet, but that would be an interesting breakout scenario. Yeah, breaking above this trend line. So I'm watching for that as well. And especially because the wave count to the downside is full, okay? So obviously, trend lines aren't really good for predicting price movements. But if we have an Elliott Wave structure that is technically full to the downside, okay, that doesn't mean it has to turn around, but it means the probability is increased that we're turning around. Well, then having a signal like a breakout trend, a trend breakout, trend line breakout, that could be interesting. In addition to that, I'm watching this RSI, daily RSI, let's say trend line. This is actually broken. Now, this is really only valid. This is only let me just double check that. Where actually, because it's only valid with the daily candle close. Okay, you could argue it broke overnight or it broke with the daily candle close, but I'd like to have the daily today closed for a better signal. So that's broken. That's an initial trend line break on the RSI on the daily. That can be an interesting signal. I made you aware a few days ago. This could be similar to what happened before. We had, for example, here a similar trend line breakout, right? And that was the rally from the February lows into the March highs. So you often get that on the RSI. We had it before here. That was back in August last year. So, and here as well. May last year. So these RSI breakouts can be useful, but I find this one even more relevant, the dotted line. However, this should not be ignored. It's just something else to watch in addition to the bullish divergence. Also in yesterday's video, I showed you on the weekly chart the Bollinger Bands on the weekly, which also provided a potential reversal signal to the upside. Nevertheless, one more low is still possible and likely until we get the proper Elliott Wave structure in place. But it's looking good overall. Okay, I shouldn't say it's looking good. We have some indicators that show us that either a low is formed or we're very close, but the structure on the shorter time frame doesn't confirm it yet. And this is where I'd say I'm neither bullish nor bearish at the moment, because on the smaller time frame, price action is not clearly bullish yet. The overall scenario is still bullish, but I need both of them to align. I need the smaller time frame and the larger time frame align. I need them both to point to the upside. If the smaller time frame is still pointing down and the larger time frame up, I'm not convinced yet, and I'm cautious. Okay, that's really what I would say. I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish. I'm cautious. If we see the smaller time frame and the larger time frame align, it's time to be bullish. If we see the larger time frame and the smaller time frame align to the downside, it's time to be bearish. Okay, how could that happen? Well, if we break below 50,700, for example, and it's a sustained break, well, then it would be overall more bearish, and the smaller time frame is bearish then as well, from an Elliott Wave point of view. Okay, so at the moment there are mixed signals. Well, that tells me if the larger time frame is bullish still, and we're deep in an inflection point, and the smaller time frame is bearish but potentially turning around, it is a great possible trend reversal area here, right? It's just not like, okay, we can confirm the low. It's too early for that. Now let's take a look at the smaller time frame. This is here the 30-minute chart. We're just watching this move down here from the 7th of June high. As I mentioned, the fourth wave could have bottomed here on Friday, the 5th of July. And we're just watching for reversal here. You see that red trend line that we just discussed. I need that broken, but really what I need to see from an Elliott Wave point of view, and that's even more relevant to me, is this 5-wave move up in the wide wave count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need all those 5 waves to confirm that we've bottomed in the larger fourth wave. Resistance is at 61,500 pretty much. That's 78.6 retracement. Unless so if we don't get above that level, there is not clearly an indication that we've bottomed. And then if we break above it, I need those 5 waves to fill in. So because of the price action from that low, which isn't clearly bullish, and we discussed it yesterday, I'm skeptical about the wide count that we've bottomed. Okay, so I definitely keep the door open for one more low, even if it's just for risk management, from a risk management point of view. And that is where this yellow wave count comes in, where we were looking at a WXY structure. WXY would be just an extension of the move down, where we say, okay, no, the 4th wave didn't bottom on the 5th of July. It's indeed still unfolding, and that last move down is an ABC structure. Now, even in this B wave, we were watching for higher prices. If you recall yesterday, I'll show you what I posted on X on Twitter. By the way, make sure you follow us here if you haven't done so already. By the way, thank you for 20,000 followers on X. It's a pain to grow there, but it is very useful. It is very useful. So also sometimes updates are shared here. So yesterday I pointed out, this is the chart from yesterday, was posted late yesterday, that the B wave in yellow, so the yellow WXY pattern could possibly complete at 59,400, because that was one of the key targets. I'm not going to read out the whole thing. You can check that out on Twitter, but or X. But the idea was, 59,400 is a key target, but also a key pivot for that yellow WXY structure. And indeed, the price, like a magnet, did get there, as you can see. The price did get there and got rejected exactly at, not exactly at 59,400, it was 500. But you see, it was only a wick that went above that level. So clearly respected. Now, it doesn't mean we've topped now in wave B, but we could have topped. Best is now to watch for a 5-wave move down. So to get some confirmation that we've now topped in wave B. Basically, it reached that target, okay? It got rejected. That's so far what, is ideal, okay? For the yellow wave count. So we're collecting just evidence that it's yellow or white. For now, again, I'm still skeptical about the white count. I need to see 5 waves down now, so I can only see 3 down. That keeps technically the door open for higher. If we now see 5 waves down, like another lower high and another lower low, and a corrective rally that stays below the last high, that would be a setup for lower. At the moment, we only have 3 waves down. We haven't even taken out a previous swing low. So 5 waves down and taking out the previous low here, around 57,500, would be a solid signal for a B wave top. Yeah, but at the moment, I'm watching for further evidence basically that wave B has topped, while keeping an open mind that we could follow the white count still. It's not invalidated at all, but the white count, again, I'm skeptical about it until it really at least shows a break above resistance of 61,500. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.